What's up, guys? This is VinylicPuma, and honestly, I feel kind of perplexed. Now, I'm gonna have to apologize. I've been trying to script this video for the last 2 to 3 hours, and I've also been trying to figure out what I want to talk about. But I think what I really want to talk about is the fact that this game is gonna be online only, and it's gonna have PvP multiplayer. Now, before I start, again, forgive me, this is going to be a little bit incoherent, and I'm also going to go ahead and say that I am going to try to be as unbiased as possible, because I think there are some good things and bad things to Fallout 76, but I still can't cover up the fact that I am kind of disappointed. So just bear with me. Hopefully you like this video, and let me just go ahead and talk. Now, on the one hand, you seem to have people that like the inclusion of co-op and PvP. And it's not like people haven't wanted something like this, as there have been mods before for Fallout New Vegas and even Skyrim that add multiplayer co-op. On the other hand, one of the reasons many people like Bethesda Game Studios games, including myself, is because they make single-player games with official mod support on PC. Having a AAA developer make single-player games, let alone games with mod support, is a rarity in this day and age. And to see Fallout go in a more multiplayer-focused direction is really disappointing, especially when the logical continuation for the franchise would have been to make a spin-off game, which Fallout 76 is, but a spin-off game more like Fallout New Vegas. I almost wonder if Todd Howard anticipated there would be some backlash to Fallout 76 and decided to announce both Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 at the end of their press conference, which I guess, as far as I'm aware, both of which are going to be traditional single-player Bethesda RPGs. But at the same time, I feel torn because I saw some things with Fallout 76 I definitely liked. I mean, their attention to detail and some of the things that they showed in the trailer where it's looking like they're actually replicating like real world locations in West Virginia, that's awesome. I wanted to see that. And to get a lush green environment as well as like a fall environment and having more contrasts in the game's environment is something that everyone has wanted from the Fallout franchise since Fallout 4 came out. But we have to get these things with PvP multiplayer? Why? If you want to play PvP multiplayer, you can literally go online, download Fortnite, and play it for free. And I know that comparison is going to insult some of you guys, but the thing is, if you look at the gameplay trailer in, I guess, that PvP segment, the other player, P. Garvey, falls to his knees, just like in all of these Battle Royale games. I also don't understand these emotes. Now, granted, I guess it's kind of funny that you can pose in front of a monster that you just killed with your friends or whoever the heck you're playing with, but at the same time, it's just goofy. I'm not here to say that there's anything wrong with having goofy elements in games. After all, it can enrich the experience, like you might see in Metal Gear, where you're hiding in a cardboard box. At the same time, what's interesting about Metal Gear is that there are these mind-bending narratives to the game, and how there's all of this really fascinating lore and backstory. And maybe I'm not being fair. Maybe Fallout 76 is going to have a really in-depth, like, mind-bending narrative, and there's going to be a lot of interesting lore in the game. But I honestly really have my doubts, because all we've seen is PvP multiplayer, cooperative multiplayer, and the game's world. It just seems like if there was a strong single-player component or there was a strong story-driven component, we would have known about it by now, and that's something Bethesda would have showcased to us. And you know, maybe I'm not being fair. Maybe there is a strong solo single-player component that we don't know about yet, because Bethesda's going to show it off in their no-clip documentary. And then there's the modding community to think about. If this game is going to be online only, that basically means you ain't going to have any mods. Now, I guess we don't really know, or it hasn't really been confirmed either way, but I would think because the game is online only, and also because it's going to have PvP multiplayer, that we aren't going to have any mods. And that's so crazy. Modding is such a big part of Bethesda Game Studios titles, and the remote possibility that we aren't going to get it is really concerning. And, you know, maybe I'm not being fair, because there is a possibility that we're going to get our own dedicated servers, and then if that's the case and we can host our own dedicated servers, we can play with all of the mods we want. I don't know. I think what we need, and here's what I will say, because I don't want to bash on Bethesda the whole time, because they've obviously probably worked on this game for a long time. They've probably been kind of worried about what people were going to think about the game. But here's what I will say. If there is a strong solo single-player component to Fallout 76, it would really help a lot of us if you showed us 30 minutes of gameplay. Because in a way, if you think about it, all we've really seen so far is basically PvP, co-op, where we're killing giant monsters, and the game's world. I'd also like to know a little bit more about the story, because so far what we've seen is, again, PvP multiplayer, co-op, and the world. Ultimately, guys, I'll just go ahead and say this, but the thing is, I'll at least give the game a shot. I mean, I'll try the beta if I can get into the beta. I guess you have to pre-order it. I don't know how that works, but the thing is, I'll at least try the game. And, you know, if I can make videos on it and talk about it, I will. But at the same time, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I'm going to love it. And, you know, hey, maybe I get into the beta and maybe I really love the game and I'm super excited and I can bring some content to you guys. But I've got to say, this is a massive change in direction for Bethesda Game Studios. And it may work out for them, it may not. I don't know. At least all I can say is that I'm glad that we're getting Starfield, and that's supposedly going to be more of a single-player RPG, and I think that's going to be really cool. Now, there's one last thing I want to say here, and that is that I'm actually kind of glad that Kotaku leaked the information that they did 2 to 3 weeks ago that Fallout 76 was going to be an online game. Because imagine for a moment if we had no idea that Fallout 76 was going to be online, and we were thinking that it was basically going to be kind of like a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas. You can only imagine what would have happened if people found out at the E3 press conference that Fallout 76 was going to have PvP multiplayer. And while I will admit I'm not the biggest fan of Kotaku, in a bizarre and kind of fucked up way, I think they actually may have helped Bethesda, because the thing is, it would have been a lot worse for Bethesda if the former scenario happened where we never had this leak and we just didn't know going in, as opposed to at least kind of knowing going in so we could kind of manage our expectations. But guys, I don't want to be all doom and gloom in this video. I'll at least give the game a try. Maybe I end up liking it, maybe I don't. I'll try the beta if I can get into it. And otherwise, guys, I think that's going to wrap up this particular video. I know some of you are probably going to be a little upset at some of the things I have to say, but, you know, as somebody that really wanted a strong single-player component, I've got to say I'm kind of disappointed. Now, this isn't to say that there isn't one, or maybe we just haven't seen it, but the thing is, I would have liked to have seen that, and the fact that we haven't seen that ultimately has me a little bit concerned. But if I haven't pissed you off too much, feel free to like this video if you liked it, click the bell so you can be notified when I upload more videos, and as always, thank you all so much for supporting the channel, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.